The more I think about it, the more confident I become that Jeremy Corbyn would make a good head of government at this crucial time in British history. I certainly don't like everything about him, and he's further left than myself, but not massively. If you take a look at his track record, the causes he's favoured, and the things he's opposed, and you look at his general behaviour in public life, in politics, I'd say he stands head and shoulders above many prominent Tories and certain members of the Labour Party. He stood up to be counted. He's leading Labour in a new direction. He stands by his principles. Yeah, and with the shitstorm that followed Brexit, he stood firm in the face of a Labour MP revolt, won the leadership contest with almost 62% of the vote, which was an increase, I believe, of more than 2% of the vote share on his original election as party leader back in September 2015. Without naming names or party affiliation, there have been more than a few smug, self-aggrandizing, overly ambitious pieces of work who've not been shy about attacking Corbyn since he became leader, attacking him for all the wrong reasons, scapegoating him or looking to marginalise what he stands for, or undermine it at the least. Let's look at what he has going for him. 3 decades of experience serving as an elected representative of the people. For a good deal of his political career, he's been that backbencher challenging the party's elite, and indeed Westminster's elites, voting in line with his strong beliefs, his conscience, his principles. Tony Blair no doubt saw him as a big pain in the arse during his run as Britain's leader. Let's remember that Corbyn was a big campaigner against the horrendous apartheid system in South Africa. He's been a consistent ally of the LGBTQ community. He's an anti-racist. He's clearly for women's rights and greater female empowerment. You know, if he gets into power, that he's going to look to strengthen the N.H.S. and the welfare system rather than cut, neglect and mismanage as the Tories have. 2 personal reasons why I support Corbyn and feel that we're generally on the same wavelength, though would no doubt have some disagreements. He would prefer Britain to be a republic, like myself, but he's not campaigning for it given the monarchy's current popularity. Well, the goodwill of the public is subject to change, and the stronger arguments are definitely on the side of republicanism. And the other reason, he wants the country to have a single document codified constitution as opposed to the mess we have right now. We have no singular written constitution as the vast majority of nations do. And so I would love to see a well-made, well-funded campaign to get this idea over, persuade people up and down the land to see the wisdom of it. It could be very important given the direction the country seems to be moving in now. What I would also really love to see is the UK give up its nuclear weapons. They're not a deterrent, they're clearly a threat. And they are insanely dangerous things to possess. Under a Corbyn-led government, there would be a strong chance to see them dismantled. It would take some political manoeuvrings, no doubt, but under the Tories there's no chance. I'll be of the view that the UK's foreign policy could become considerably more sound in the ethical sense under Corbyn Labour government. Perhaps many of our previous unscrupulous dealings under former regimes would also come to light. Homelessness not being properly addressed and people living very close to the edge, various housing crises, a lack of affordable housing for the most vulnerable people in the land. We know what to expect under the Tories. We've had it for years now. Welfare cuts, cuts to essential services, dog whistles to their loyal bourgeois supporters, empty rhetoric about supporting hard-working families. That's the Conservative Party. And fear-mongering on immigration, of course. There is a better way for the country. Labour, as a party and as a movement with a long history of supporting working people and social justice, needs to do more to get the good word out to more and more folks.